All right, now we're doing 7Q Rubik's Cube art. This is by LJ509 and 89% of the people like it. So basically we're just going to be building a Rubik's Cube like thing like this. We're going to get an argument that is a number, and we're just going to use that number to be the dimensions of the cube. So like this one's 3, so it's going to be 3 by 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, basically like that. So for this one, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to make an array that builds this thing right here, and also another array that builds this thing right here. We can see that there's going to be, we're going to do something like spaces plus this pattern plus, and this pattern is going to be repeated a variable amount of times, and this pattern is going to be repeated in amount of times each time. All right. So to build the arrays, the two arrays we're going to make, we're going to use this Array.from method. And if you don't know about it, it's a static method that creates a new shallow copied array instance from an iterable or array-like object. All right, so the syntax we're going to use is this arrow function syntax, where we're going to say Array.from. We're going to have the array-like object right here. We're going to also have this element and index as the arguments, and we're going to have this arrow and then the expression right here to fill it up. All right. And for this array-like object, we're going to use something like this down here, where it's going to be an object. We're going to say length, and instead of the 5 here, we're going to say length is going to be in. All right. So let's come over here. We're going to say const here to make it into a concise syntax. We're going to say equals in, and then after this, we're going to have the arrow, and then down here we're going to say console.log, so that we can test while we go. So we're going to do the Array.from, and we're going to have the array-like thing right here, the array-like object. We're going to say length, and that's going to be in, and then we're going to say comma right here, and then we're going to do the little arrow function, which is going to have, we're not going to bother with the element, we're just going to have this little underscore, because we're not even going to have element at all in the expression, and then we're going to have index right here. All right. And so for this, the first thing we want to do is these spaces, right? And so right here we can say the space is 1 space here, 2 space here. So it's going to be something like the current index, excuse me, it's going to be in -1, all right? So let's come over here and we're going to say this, and then we're going to use the repeat method to repeat the spaces. So we're going to come over here and use this repeat method, which constructs and returns a new string which contains the specified number of copies of the string on which it was called, concatenated together. All right. So we're just going to say repeat and then the count right here. So we're going to say over here, this dot repeat, and for the count we're going to do in -1. So in -1. All right. So on this one, the in would be 3. So -1 would be 1, 2, but we also need to do another one. So we're going to say -I. So that way it does -1 plus it subtracts the current index as well. And then this down here will be 0. This down here will be repeated 1 time, and this one's repeated 2 times. Index, like that. Pardon me. So now we've got that going on. We're going to add to this. We'll just bring it down here while we add it. We're going to add this string right here for this one right here. Okay, you see that? So we're going to say this, and then we're going to do this here, the backspace. But the thing about this is that, as we know, that's the escape character whenever we're doing strings. So we're going to have escape character and then the backslash right there. All right. So this looks like this. It looks like this, but because this is the escape character, this is the one that's going to be butted up against this, not this one. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, you'll figure it out. All right. So we're going to say this right here, dot repeat. And we're going to repeat this thing. This looks like I times I plus 1 times. So 0 plus 1 1 plus 1, 2 plus 1. All right, so let's do I plus 1 times, not I, but index. All right, and now let's test it real quick. We can even see what it looks like. So yeah, now it looks like that. And then we can say down here, we can add one more thing, because we're going to need to add this little thing right here. So we're going to say plus, down here, we're going to say string. And then we're going to have this right here. All right, and we doing the escape character thing here also. Now let's test that. No, we got to do repeat. Dot repeat n times. All right, test that out. All right, now it looks good. That looks like this first part. And now we need to add this in with this. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to wrap this thing up in brackets and make an array out of that. And let's see what it looks like now. All right, now we see this. We need to get rid of this bracket though, so we're going to use spread syntax. Spread syntax. All right, and spread syntax allows an iterable such as an array or string to be expanded in places where 0 or more arguments or elements are expected. So we'll just put this dot 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 in front of this array, and this is what it looks like now. We say test, and now it looks like this. It's got this string inside of an array, and we'll just let me bring this over, and we can do this while we're at it. We're going to use the join method because we want to join it together by this \n. All right, the little line break thing. So we're going to use this join method, which creates and returns a new string by concatenating all the elements in an array separated by commas or a specified separator string. So the specified separator string we're going to use is we're going to just use this \n like this, run it, and it's going to, you see, it's going to put them on different lines. So we're going to say over here, after this bracket, dot join, and then we're going to have the string \n. Now let's test it out. All right, now it looks like this, and you can see it looks like this down here. So the first half is ready to go. So down here, we're going to have comma, and then dot 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 Array.from, and then we're going to do the length is in, comma, and then we're going to do the arguments, which are the element we're not going to use right here, and index, arrow function, and this time we're going to say this space dot repeat. But since we're doing this side now, we're going to say dot repeat I. So we're going to repeat it 0 times, 1 time, 2 times. So dot repeat I, index I should say, I keep forgetting, index, and then we're going to add, oops, and we're going to add to that this here, and we're going to say this little pattern right here, the little V, and we're going to repeat that. Well, first let's make the V. So we're going to make that, we're going to do the escape character in that thing, and then the V, and then we're going to say dot repeat, and we're going to repeat that. It looks like in minus I times. So in minus 0, in minus 1, in minus 2. So in minus I times. In minus index times. All right, and let's add to that this here, and we're going to say this little character, this little combo of characters, like that, dot repeat, in times. All right, and that should be good. Let's test it out. All right, and it looks like a cube, a Rubik's Cube. Check it out. All right, so let's get rid of this console.log, test it out for real, make sure we don't have any problems with it, test it. Looks good. Attempt it. All right, and just to go over this again, we're doing this, bring this join down. We've got this, we've got this set of brackets, and it's got this array right here in it, which is this top one. If we have the console.log up, you saw it. And this is the bottom one, all right? We've got the comma right there because this is an array, and then we've got the join with the line break thing right there, all right? So let's attempt it. Looks good. I'm gonna bring this over here. I don't like that there. And attempt it one more time and submit it. All right. And you see here, they're doing the array.fill method, and then basically what we did, but different. Oh, that's cool. They used the reverse here. Oh, we should have considered that. Well, whatever. Anyway, and here's basically what we did right here, except for they did it in a for loop, and then here's some more stuff, and you can just check all that out if you feel like it. Here's just me right here. Best practice, in my opinion. Very much like it, and we'll see you next time.